Alright guys, good to have you back on my channel. Today we're going to take a look at another case knife. This is, well, first of all, this knife is a lot smaller than you think it is. I can guarantee you that. This is the Case Tiny Toothpick model. And what you're looking at is a red case shield with a very common material for a case. That is their Jigged cattle bone, and this particular cattle bone is not dyed or colored in any way. Now the jigged portion applies to, let's see if you can see that, yeah, those nice little dimples that are put into the handles of not all but quite a few case knives. Those dimples mean it's jigged, and this material is cattle bone. Case normally uses cattle bone because it's a very stable material. It's not likely to crack or break on you easily at all. Now, as you can see, this is a very handsome, very tiny slip joint knife, and yeah, not easy to open at all. Yeah, and that's a good thing, because you do not want something as absolutely tiny as this to be easy to open. You don't want it to be easy to open, easy to close, especially closing down on your fingers. Now, this might look cute, and let's face it, it is cute because it is tiny, but this is not a toy. This knife, razor sharp. Now, this is the type of knife that is typically referred to in some circles as a going to church knife. Basically, very small, very good looking, very non-threatening, definitely not even remotely made to be used as a weapon. This thing is effective for cutting string, maybe for cutting slightly denser material, but that's about it. Yeah, this is something that a gentleman might have in his pocket if he was going to church with his family. Now, I do want to mention that there is another class of knife called a gentleman's knife, and that is also very small, but a going to church knife is typically a lot smaller. Now, as I said, this knife is even smaller than you think it is. Here's a rolling tube of chapstick for comparison. Alright, let's try to balance that on my fingernail without cutting myself. The joys of making YouTube videos and nothing going wrong. Nothing at all. Yep. As you can see. Now for the profile. Yeah, that tube of chapstick looks massive compared to this. And okay. And yes, there is no pocket carry clip. Here it is next to a typical, easy to find Bic clear crystal pen. This particular one is red ink. I will have dimensions in the description below. Here it is with a quarter for size comparison, and honestly, even then, You guys would not believe how really tiny this knife is. There it is in the palm of my hand. Very tiny. Now keep in mind, I have medium-sized hands with somewhat short, stubby fingers. Although, to be honest, when I buy gloves, I have to buy large-sized gloves. Although, I really don't think my hands are large. So, let's take a look at it in the closed position, and as you can see, it's the exact length of my middle finger. Now, as far as handle width, it's literally 2 toothpicks horizontally, one on top of the other. It is that small. Now, with Christmas coming up, with Hanukkah coming up, and I'm sure there's other holidays I've missed. I'm actually not African American, so I don't know if gifts are exchanged on Kwanzaa. And perhaps there are some other holidays from other nationalities and cultures coming up. This would make a really good stocking stuffer. Again, this looks cute. It might look like something for the kiddies. No, absolutely not. This would be a nice stocking stuffer for an adult whom you personally know either loves case knives or is very good at using slip joint knives. Yep. Once again, this is a slip joint. There's no pocket carry clip, and this is absolutely tiny. So incredibly tiny. Let's see if my camera will focus on the tank stamp. Nope. Basically it says case with I believe that's an X on top and 2 X's on the bottom. On the other side, let's see, USA, and on the bottom of that there's a number followed by a 2-digit number below that. But basically, very small, very handy, very useful, very nice gift for an adult on Christmas, and only an adult. This is absolutely not for children. Absolutely gorgeous, tiny little knife. And yes, if you live in the UK, this will be street legal, especially considering its extremely tiny size and its lack of a lock mechanism. So if you want to EDC it, you can, but this is mostly for the weekend, just a nice relaxing weekend, going to church with the family, or the synagogue if you're Jewish. It's really a nice knife. Highly recommended. Alright guys, I'll see you next time. I hope you guys have a good one.